Welcome back, students of WDD 130. This Week 9 screencast involves the completion of the Dryor site and the completion of your personal site plan. So let's get right to it. If we click here, Week 9's introduction has you engage in a couple tasks. We need to complete the rafting site that we've been building together these past 8 weeks, and then we must also do a site plan for the personal website project, which will be our final real assignment and project for this course. So I'm hoping you're all feeling more confident going into this personal site now that you've built the river rafting one with us together in the class. You'll notice one of the objectives I want to highlight is the implementation and creation of at least 2 child pages. So what I'd like to do is just show off what I decided to do for mine. If we actually want to preview this, I'll go into a full window rather than in the code. This is the river rafting website we've been building together. You'll notice we have navigation for some subpages, and I want to illustrate what I've done on those. So let's click on Facts, and you notice I've taken lots of the content for Facts from the WDD 130 subpage content link. Now, I got there by proceeding through the module. Subpage 1 creation was my frequently asked question website. So make sure whenever you need to create a new HTML file, you come up here to New File, and then you have to give it a name. In this case, I called mine facts.html. Okay? Now I'm not going to create that again because I've already done that. As you can see here is my facts.html. And always remember, for every subpage, you need to create a new title. So this one's called Dryor Facts. Okay? And if I click on my Contact the HTML page, I've called this one Contact Dryor. Again, every subpage can build upon what you've done on the index or home page. So let's go view my index page. It's right here. You'll notice I have a title, right? Dryor website. And then down here, every single website that I've made building off of this shares the same navigational links. You'll see these here. You'll see them on my facts page. You'll see them on my contact page. And essentially what I've decided to do is keep everything intact in my heading and in my footer. And typically all that I've done, and all I suggest you do for your first website, is to maintain some consistency with your heading and with your footer down here. Now you'll notice, wow, I got a huge gap here I need to address. I've been making some changes, and it looks like I've created a gap between my section 3, Come Run With Us, and what we call section 2. So I'll have to address that during this screencast. But let's look at subpage 1, okay? I created a new grid for this, and I'd like to show you. For subpage 1, I called it facts.html. And you'll notice for my facts and my contact, what CSS file did I source? That's right. I sourced the same styles.css file for both of them. And so once I decided to do that, if I click into my styles.css, you'll notice I did have to make some changes here. I created some new divs and some new classes. So if you see here, I've got what looks like a home left image, a home headline 5, and a home paragraph 5. Okay, and if we go into my facts, you'll see down here I actually decided to put those towards the bottom of my facts page. So those represent what is included in the trip. Is this true? No, that's actually what do I need to bring, isn't it? So my what do I need to bring represents my home headline 5. Okay, and my home paragraph 5 follows it here. And this right here, my home left image 5, was what I classified here with this image. So again, what you'll want to do as you build your subpages is go find some new images that you haven't used already on the site. Okay? What you want to do is find some new ones. I found a ram. I found some cabins. It looks like I accidentally duplicated this one. If we go to home, you'll see it's right there. Okay, so I should change that up as well. But essentially what you want to do is find some new images. If I click on contact, yeah, I found a new banner image there as well. Let's go look at my contact page. And you'll notice it's a little bare. All I have going on here, besides the footer that I've brought over and the same navigation from my index page, all I decided to do was to kind of duplicate my banner box div with a new image, and then I created a new contact grid a headline, and a paragraph. Okay, and so if we go look here, my contact paragraph and contact headline, if we look at my styles.css for those, let's go find them. Oh, here they are. Here's my contact grid, and I'm only using 3 FRs, okay, for flexible units, 3 columns and 3 rows, and then my headline is only spanning 2 of them, okay. I could have spanned 3, and that would look like this, okay. That would span all of them, but I decided, no, the headline doesn't need to span all, it's just going to span 2, okay. And the same here, I could have spanned my contact paragraph across all of them. I could have gone 1 through 4, but I decided no, to just keep that on column 2 through column 4 rather than to stretch the whole page. I didn't want them to get in each other's way. Okay, but essentially that's what I've done. I've kind of looked at my home page, and essentially I said, hey, I actually like what I did here with some of my grid work on the home grid, and I duplicated that with a new facts grid. And then down below my contact page, I just created a new contact grid. Because once you've built something well, there's no need to reinvent it. You can simply redesign what you've done. So I encourage you, if you've taken the time and spent the effort to create a grid on your homepage like I have, I've simply used that as a model to create a contact one and a facts grid for my facts page. Okay, and you'll notice I actually, what did I do? Let's see, did I use the same amount of columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on homepage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I used the same amount of columns, but then let's look at my rows. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it looks like I've done about 5 rows as well on my facts page if we go look at that. So essentially, find some new images. Go grab the content that we provide if you're having trouble generating your own. There's what's called subpage content. And just to show you where to find it, here in step 2, I redirect you to subpage content. And I've essentially ripped this from the fact page. I decided to use this information to represent my headlines and my paragraphs. And then down here, I took this from the Contact Us page, and I just took that from my contact paragraph. Again, more detail would be recommended if you really, go forward with the business. You'd want to include like a phone number and an address right here, and maybe even some contact email for them to send messages your way. But essentially, use what you've done on the home page. Use all of that work that you've done to redesign these 2 pages. You'll notice I have the same backgrounds, the same headline colors, the same Dryort logo on each of these pages. And I've even decided to link that to my About Me page. Okay, I've got the same types, the same backgrounds. I haven't exactly copied this style. You'll notice this navigation's vertical, whereas this one's horizontal. Okay, so those are some things you could change if you want. You don't have to spend too much time on the About Me. But I would link it if you've done it. If you spent the time, I would link the CSS that you've done, the same external CSS file to each of these pages. Okay, so once you've done the sub pages, let's close those out. The next part of the assignment has you, okay, focusing on the site plan for the personal website. So that follows this, and it's right here. For completion, okay, you will also want to build a new web page with 2 child pages for a personal website. Okay, and so here's some of the significant requirements that you need to meet. You need to have at least 1 image that relates to the content of each page. Make sure that they link the pages to one another, just like you see I've demonstrated here. Home goes to facts, goes to contact, goes to about me, and then I can also jump back to the different pages from each other. So make sure that there's things linking, there's relevant pages, relevant imagery, relevant content. All of that should be there. Okay. If you come down here, essentially you create a wireframe. Okay. Make sure you've completed the personal site plan 1, part 1 and part 2. And then essentially, yeah, you can use the wireframe approach by hand. You can draw these out, take a picture of your wireframes. You can also use some software to just create a mock-up of them, and then add all 3 of those wireframes to a new site plan for the personal website. This is how I'll grade the site plan, okay, for your personal website. Just be clear about who it's for, what colors you want to include, the fonts that you'll showcase, and I look forward to seeing what you do. Okay, the content, don't spend too much time generating it. Just have enough that we get the idea of what the site's about. Again, this is for you and your learning experience. If you feel like you're spending too much time generating the content, then you're probably doing it wrong. Just put in enough information we can follow. Don't spend hours agonizing over what to include. But yeah, the wireframes also need to be included. You'll notice, wow, that's a large portion, 9 points of this grade. So make a wireframe and include it with the site plan for each of the pages. Okay. But this again is worth 30 points. So give it some due diligence, give it some time, don't skimp on it. And I look forward to seeing your work. If we jump back to modules, it is kind of a heavy week with assignments. Okay, we've got 2 30-point assignments. So that'll be a lot for you to do, a lot for me to grade. So I look forward to looking at your work. So I would get it in early. I'm including this screencast now, and I'm about to conclude it. Email me if you have questions. Add some comments to the announcements so we can address those concerns. And I look forward to seeing your work. Okay, so thanks, and I'm going to check out right now. Have a good evening, and I'll talk to you later.